Hey guys, what's up? Alright, so what I felt led to talk about is sin and the consequences of sin, and also just really more on the lines of consequences of unconfessed sin. You know, it says in James that, we should confess our sins to one another so we may be healed. And the way the Lord showed this to me is like, if you're sick but you don't go to the doctor, yes, you may get well, but that disease or that illness may have a tendency to come back if not dealt with. And if you aren't professing that to someone who can help you heal, someone who can really help you in that sense, then you're gonna be in this constant cycle of this thing coming back and this thing gnawing at you and eating at you, if that makes sense. And I believe that we should be in a place where we are confessing our sins to people whom we can trust, whom we can confide in, who aren't going to judge us, and more importantly, who aren't going to, coddle us, and people who aren't going to be just really overbearing, if that makes sense. And with that being said, the word also says that the wages of sin is death, right? So, with that unconfessed sin, I believe it will bring forth a spiritual death in your life, where it could hinder you from really stepping forth into the things that the Lord's called you into. And so, with that, so pretty much for me, the past 4 years, where are all these cars coming from? For goodness sake. For the past 4 years, it's kind of been very difficult for me, in a lot of change and transitions, and a lot of stuff I didn't know how to respond or really deal with. I didn't have people to really talk to or confide in because of just other stuff, stuff that I've talked about in previous videos. And pretty much I've kind of been back and forth, in sin, basically, in sin cycles, a lot of things that the Lord's delivered me out of, with, pornography, masturbation, before I got saved, I was really into, the hookup sites, and I got back into that. It was pretty much kind of on and off, a lot of habitual sin, and there were even times where I even hooked up with a few people. There are a lot of cars right now. Oh gosh, okay. And so I don't even know what else to say, but pretty much just what it's been for the past 4 years, and a lot of the times when I did, backslide, it was because I wasn't getting my own way. It was because I wasn't, I was lonely, or I was bored, and I just allowed myself to go back into whatever stuff that I was in, and there were even some thoughts where I was like, well, what's the point? I'm not stepping into what I'm going to anyway, or maybe it was or maybe it was, well, I've come this far, so I might as well just finish it off, basically. And that's definitely not, it's not an attitude that you should have, especially as a Christian. I don't think that's an attitude that anyone should really have about anything, regardless of where their spirituality is, because it's just damaging. It's damaging to who you are. It's damaging to everything around you. And with me, I'm very goal-oriented, and I recognize that what I do not only affects me, but affects everyone around me. And, you know, like right now, like, I am kind of in limbo with a film that I've been developing, and, you know, I have all these people who are depending on me, who are looking at me, and I'm dealing with stuff, and I can't move forward with it because the Lord's not removing his hand, because I'm in this habitual sin. I have unconfessed sin in my life, and I don't believe that he wants me to be a statistic, because there are all these other ministers and pastors who are out here who have had amazing ministries or amazing followings, but then they've had these double lives. They've had these lives where they've had sin, they've had adultery, they've had all this other stuff, and they end up getting exposed, and everything that they built falls because they relied on their own self, or they allowed sin to rule them. And I don't want that for me, and I thank God that he doesn't want that for me, because I'm a part of a new generation that's coming up where we have to be who we say that we are. And I think in this video I also want to kind of show that, you know, like, I'm a human being, and yes, I'm a follower of Christ. Yes, so many cars, and yes, I have things that I deal with, and I have thoughts in my mind where I feel like I have to be this or do this and all of that, and I think I just have to be at the point where I just need to just let go of everything and let God be God, and allow myself just to be myself, and also really allow him to speak to me, speak truth to me, because also I'm a person, I am very sensitive to a lot of things around me. And also a lot of times when I did fall back, it wasn't because I was feeling something, it was because I was picking up someone else, and because all that stuff is still so familiar to me, I think that it's me, when really it's someone else who's lusting, who wants to do that stuff, and I'm picking it up and agreeing with it because I think it's me, when it's really them. And that may not make sense, but for some people that does make sense. But my thing is, I'm not a lustful person, and my thing is that that's not who I am, that's not what I want. And even today I had like a mishap today, but I know that it wasn't me, it was someone else, and I agreed with it because I thought that it was me when it really wasn't. And again, that may not make sense to people, but that's just the reality of it. It's kind of part of my spiritual giftings, and me learning more about my identity and who God created me to be, and how he created me to reach other people, and how he wants to reach other people through me. So it's me just really learning more about my spiritual giftings and making sure that they work for me and not against me, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's kind of where I am, and I hope you guys were enlightened and edified by this. Just remember, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at AidenXJeffrey. There are so many cars right now. There have not been this many cars in any other video. And just remember that you were made on purpose and for a purpose. As long as you walk with fiery passion and perfect peace, there's nothing you can't do. There's no mountain that you cannot move. So until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Bye, guys.